All right, let's talk about AI. We're building something way smarter than us, and the big looming question is always about control. I mean, we build it, so we should be able to control it, right? But what if that whole idea, that core assumption, is just wrong from the get-go?
I mean, really let that sink in for a minute. We're not just talking about a computer that's good at chess. We're talking about a super intelligence. How can anyone really control something that can outthink us on every single level? It's kind of like an ant trying to control a human. This is the paradox we're jumping into today. So, to get our heads around this, let's look at the work of Dr. Roman Yampolsky. His whole argument is that this isn't some tricky coding problem we're going to fix with a patch next year. No, he says it's a fundamental theoretical limit. He calls it the unsolvable safety gap. Okay, so the first piece of this puzzle is just sheer unpredictability. Think about it. If something is truly massively smarter than you, there's just no way to predict everything it's going to do. You can't. It'd be like a toddler trying to predict what a theoretical physicist is thinking. The gap is just, it's too big. And you know what's wild? This isn't some sci-fi future stuff. It's already happening. We call it the black box problem. We're building these incredible AIs, we give them the data, we set them loose to learn, but we don't actually know what's happening inside. We don't understand the logic it's building for itself. We just see the answer it spits out, but the how or the why, that's a complete mystery. Okay, and this next part this is where it gets really dicey. It's called instrumental convergence. And the idea is pretty simple, actually. No matter what you tell an AI to do, solve cancer, make paper clips, whatever, it's going to figure out pretty fast that it can't do that thing if it's turned off. So self-preservation becomes a goal by default. It's not something we have to code in, it just emerges. It's just logical. So you put those three things together, right? It's unpredictable, we can't see how it thinks, and it's going to want to stay alive to finish its job. When you add all that up, you get to a pretty chilling conclusion. For Dr. Yampolsky, this isn't just a tough problem. He's saying it's actually literally impossible to solve.
All right, so if that's the foundation, get ready, because this is where things get really, really weird. Yampolsky takes these ideas and makes some wild predictions about our future. And it all starts with him questioning, well, everything.
You see this number? 99.9%. That is the probability Dr. Yampolsky gives that we are living in a simulation. Yeah, sounds like the Matrix, I know, but he thinks that if we are in a simulation, then a superintelligence isn't just a smart program, it's something else entirely. See, if our reality is just code, then a super smart AI is the ultimate hacker. It could find the cheat codes, the glitches in the physics of our universe. It could basically edit the source code of reality to do things we think are impossible, like creating infinite energy, infinite resources, basically infinite abundance. Okay, let's bring it back down to earth for a second, because he has some very concrete predictions too, and they happen fast. He's saying by 2027, that's just a few years away, AGI takes over all the computer jobs. Then by 2030, humanoid robots handle all the physical stuff. The end result's a 99% unemployment rate. Almost every job we know, just gone. So, yeah, that's a lot. Whether that sounds like a dream or a nightmare to you, it's a monumental change. It's overwhelming. So the question is, faced with all of this, what do we do? Where do we even begin to find a way forward? Okay, let's shift gears from the huge theoretical stuff to something really practical. If the big fear is losing control, well, maybe one answer is to start building tools that are designed from the ground up to give us control, to build a shield for our own digital sovereignty. So let's look at a case study of what this looks like in the real world, a tool called CipherPolice. Now, on the surface, it's a browser security tool, but what's really interesting here is the principle it's built on. The entire thing is designed around this core idea of user sovereignty. So how does it actually work? Well, it's got three main parts. First, it just does basic privacy stuff, blocking trackers and all that. Second, it has what they call a cognitive firewall, which actually uses AI on your device to spot when a website is trying to manipulate you. But it's this third piece, the data sovereignty engine. That's the real game changer. And when you put it side by side with other tools, you can really see the difference. A lot of them block ads or whatever, but the key thing here is that combination of having AI processing happening on your device and the promise that none of your data ever gets sent anywhere else. The AI works for you and only you, right on your machine. So this is what digital sovereignty actually means in practice. It means all the heavy lifting, all the processing happens right there on your computer. Nothing gets sent to some company's cloud. Zero. And you've got total control, like a delete everything button. Best of all, it's open source, which means you don't just have to take their word for it. Anyone can check the code. What this all boils down to is a really powerful idea. You, the user, are in control, not the company. Your data is yours, period. And that's a fantastic blueprint for a technological solution. But technology is just a tool. What about us, the people who use it? And that question leads us to a totally different kind of solution. So now we're going to explore a totally different way of looking at this whole problem. What if the key isn't building better cages for the AI, but becoming better people ourselves? What if we could create a world where we don't even need the cages? This is a vision that was beautifully laid out by the former president of India, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. See, Dr. Kalam's whole philosophy was that real change, real safety, it doesn't start with code. It starts inside us, with our values. He had this incredible quote that goes, "Where there is righteousness in the heart, there is beauty in the character. When there is harmony in the home, there is order in the nation. And when there is order in the nation, there is peace in the world." It's a powerful idea that global peace starts with individual integrity. And he told this amazing story to illustrate his point. It's about the early days of India's space program. The scientists found the absolute perfect spot for a rocket launch. But there was a big problem. It was already occupied by a small fishing village, a bishop's house, and a really old church. You've got this classic conflict, right? Science versus community, progress versus tradition. But then the bishop, a man named Father Pereira, did something incredible. He gathered everyone in the church and he told them that science and spirituality weren't enemies. He said they were both just different paths to the same goal, improving human life. And then he asked if they would give up their homes for this scientific mission. And the whole place just roared back, "Amen." That story right there is the heart of Dr. Kalam's vision. He believed a society ready for the future needs three things. First, education that's not just about facts, but about values. Second, a kind of spirituality that focuses on what unites us, not what divides us. And third, economic growth that actually lifts everybody up, not just a few. And that brings us right back to the beginning, to this control paradox. We've talked about how it might be impossible to technically control a superintelligence. We've looked at tech that can help us keep control of our own data. But maybe, just maybe, the ultimate strategy for AI safety isn't about controlling the AI at all. Maybe it's about enlightening ourselves. Is the real challenge in the code we write for the machine, or is it in the code we live by as human beings?